experience, when I graduated, I firstly joined Persistent System. In that, I was handling Cisco as a client. So over there, I will not go in much detail. I'll just walk you through the basic line, what I did there. So it's more like in Persistent, we generally uh, try to handle more like security things, like who can access what resources, or who have some privilege. And it's an industry level. It's not about we are not talking about some group or some team. It's kind of Cisco level handling. So that's what I did over there. And then I switched to one startup that's a nearby technology. So startup is really good. It's more into like you have uh, like you can deliver in one day, or it's a week and you deliver a product. So these are the things you do in startup. So for industry like Persistent or big scale, they have procedure to follow. They have a lot of uh, things they have to do. They have a lot of reviews that we have to conduct, and we have to get a lot of approvals. So that's not happen in startup. That's more into like uh, we go there, you are the leader, you decide what to do, you connect with a lot of folks, and you solve the problem. So that's what exposure in nearby technology. So I was handling there. It's similar to that one groceries related app. And I was having like there, I was a backend developer. Then I switched to medcots at healthcare. In healthcare, also similar to, I was a backend developer working. So in Persistent, I was working in Java. In Pay Nearby, I was working in a lot of other tech stack is Ruby on Rails, Golang, PostgreSQL, and Elasticsearch, and other kind of infra. Then in Midcourts, I switched to Python and then Golang. There are other databases, and we are closely working with all the infra in the Midcourts. Then I switched to Microsoft, and in Microsoft, I was first in Exchange server. That's Outlook you might be using, or email you might be using. The server, it's Exchange. So that's where I firstly working for. You might see in the latest Exchange. I'm not sure you might saw that or not, but if you might seen Outlook new logo or Exchange new logo, that I have completed. Then then I switched to the new team, and as sir mentioned that I worked in like the Xbox Save Flow. It's more into like we save customer to not to cancel the subscription. So in that, the 5x effects is it's more like more than $1 million quarter benefits to the Microsoft, right? So that's what I did. Right now I'm doing some like in case anyone is using Windows 11, then in next release we rolled out some features, so you will be able to see my work over there as well. So that's what I'm doing, and this is my professional experience. I hope I'm not boring you. Then going on my journey, I'll quickly walk you through what are the college I went, and what are the um, school, and then basic about the engineering college. So it's more into like the school I went through is like I changed a lot of schools, but it's in rural India only. As I mentioned, it's first like if you might know about Arjunwada, I stayed there for 3 years. Then Kaula for 1 2 years. Then Ghotavade for 3 years. So till 10th I was there. Then I switched to ICRE, and there are a lot of bright student than me over there in ICRE. So I used to get inferior, So when you from rural area and you switch to the new environment or new college, and everyone seems a lot of smarter than you are, then you always feel that they are smarter, they can solve more, or they get more marks, or they are too much smarter. Or even if you have opinion, you will hesitate to convey to someone. So that's what happened in my first 2 years. Then finally I got good score, and then I went to PVG, Pune Vidyarthi Girls College of Engineering and Technology. It's in Pune. So over there, similar happened. Like I didn't went like I never left Kolhapur earlier before going to the PVG, and in that. It was like my classmates were US written at that time. So they were like or convent student, and like typical Puneri, all the uh, high proud people. So they used to talk a lot about like conveying the simple thing in really complex way, I would say. So they used to do that a lot. And so that's what I'll tell probably one story in my college. And it's more into like in my second year, I we go to the second year, right? In that second year, uh, there are a lot of bright students. I used to feel inferior a lot, that I'll not get good score, or they are too smarter than I am. I'll whether do I get a job or not. So these are the kind of thoughts I used to have when I went to the Pune. And then in third year, what I did, like in second year, I got 60%, and it's kind of average. In third year, what happened is like something changed, that I kind of discovered something, as in kind of I started meditating at that time. So I discovered that I do not have to compare with anyone. I do not have to feel inferior with people that are more smarter, or probably not smart that how I am. And then I switched to like I used to live in like with ICRE toppers as well. So I was in computer edit, and then my other two roommates were from IT unaided, and then I think the computer unaided at that time. So they were topper at their branch, so they used to study a lot. I mean, 8 hours a day or something, and I can study only 2 3 hours. So I used to feel again like they are. mm I mean, they'll get really good grades and all. So, anyways, so then I stopped comparing at that time, and I what I did is like I switched to hall. I created my own plan, and I studied. I do not know how much people are studying. I do not care how much people know. I generally care what knowledge I want to get from this kind of books. And it kind of turning point for me, that like I didn't compare with anyone. I just followed my path, my study, what kind of study technique applies to me. Not necessarily it applies to everyone or not. So understanding yourself matters. And then I got the topper of my college, and then in Pune. And then after that, the streak is really good. So I got topper in third year, and then I got directly offer letter from Persistent. That so there is a like top 5 or top 10 colleges in Pune. So whoever is a topper in third year, they directly got the offer letter. That's why there is a lot of competition. But I topped that, and then I got offer in Persistent. Then yeah, so this is a some story that I had in my college days. Then it's similar to like from ICRE to Microsoft, as I mentioned. It's more into like from rural area. You generally uh, has face a lot of problems. You feel that a lot of smart people are out there. A lot of I would say people are too smart. They speak really good English. That's what the myth people have. Or they generally they have like coding from their really childhood area, so they can easily beat you. So this kind of thought you generally go through. But if you trust yourself, find your own path, understand yourself, and then be good at what you do, then it doesn't matter. So it's what I it's applies to me, probably might applies to you guys. So this is my journey from ICRE to Microsoft. And right now doing good work, I believe. So, anyways, till that, I'm not. It's more into like I have a camera open and I'm just sharing my PPT. So, if you guys have a question at any time, please stop me, because I'm not able to see any raised hand or anywhere that I can see you guys, right? So, any questions or anything? If you have some journey, interesting journey to share with me, I'll be happy to hear anything from you guys. Okay, seems like no questions. I'll go ahead, and then probably if someone have it like um, have it, and then probably you can ask me at the end of the presentation. Then, as the main topic, as in opportunities in IT industries. So I just these are a exhaustive list, so you can have a really like you can get, if you are good at anything, you'll get good job in IT industry. It doesn't matter. You have to be good at problem solving in or It's not vice versa as well. It's like you people at that age probably don't know what they are good at, and then they generally try to follow where the wave is. Like example, someone tells you stock market is booming, so why to study engineering, let me do the stock market. And then people generally try to follow the wave. Or someone says that development don't have that much payment, or probably someone says that product only PM get the really good opportunity. So there are a lot of myths and a lot of waves that is get generated by a lot of folks. But I believe that it's not about wave, it's about you, what you are good at, and understand that and follow that. So coming to the opportunities, it's I just try to cover some of the things or rule that we have in general terms, and then probably you might be good at something and that might applicable to you. So first is a software developer. This is kind of everyone knows, right? That person write a code and it delivers something. It's like you got a problem, and you have to understand that problem. You have to know the problem, then you will convert that problem into the code, and you see the result and you see the impact, like I explained, right? So Xbox Airflow, I can see that the impact is in millions of dollars. Similarly, you have a power that you can create a really large impact on the customers or end users. Like whatever you guys are using right now, probably Instagram or Facebook or any Microsoft Windows or anything that is built by someone and some developer and guided by some leadership team, but generally it's built by developers. So this is what developer do. The tester is more into like validates everything. So there is the business plan or the expectations or requirements from the customers or from the product I want to ship, and this is actual the product we deliver created. So the tester is just try to find a gap between the actual products and the expectations are, and they constantly keep in touch with a lot of folks like project manager and then business analyst, and then they communicate that to developer, developer fix it, and this is the cycle goes on. uh, the third one is a data science. The data science is more into, so you might have heard that data is new oil. So it's whatever decision any leadership team does or whatever decision any organization does, it's based out of a data. So if example I want to launch, if I am the LD or leadership in the decision making of Ola or Uber somewhere, right? And I want to launch that Ola and Uber in Kolhapur. So I cannot just go on my guts feeling that I can go like Kolhapur seems good city, so let's launch Ola there, or let's launch Uber there, or let's launch any other product there. It should be backed with really strong data. So data I mean by is like uh, how many customers are there, what are the market is there, what we get out of that, what are the training we have to do, what are the onboarding, what are the costs. So a lot of things are out there, and that is developed by data science team. So data science team is understanding the market, collect the data and make sense out of data so that anyone can understand the data and take decisions. So this is generally data science do. Beta business analyst is more into like understand the business, analyze it, and communicate to the developer. Uh, the cybersecurity is more into, you might have heard like there are a lot of attacks going on. Your security is most important nowadays, and it's not about your, it's like national level security, and there are a lot of security level threats. So whatever, like example, we are working in Microsoft, right? So whatever the product we are shipping or coding we are doing, we have to make sure that the security is p0 for us, priority zero for us. So there are a lot of rules that understand the threat and then try to anticipate before attacker attacks you or your organization or your system. And because of that, there are roles like cybersecurity. Then there is like computer network architect or network administrator is more into like we work on servers, right? So it's like more than 70-80% or all of the servers that like website you're running or the app you're using is based out of cloud, and the cloud is managed by some organization, like example Microsoft or Amazon or Google, and they generally do that. They have a lot of machines, so you can have that network administrator role, where you can able to understand, like you can know the all the machines, you configure them, you set up those for proper infra as a service kind of delivery. And for that, you can have a role like computer network architect or network administrator. There are a lot of other things out there, I'm just covering the basic ones. Then the project manager is not related to us, but it's more like you can switch to that role. It's you, and you are more you are more interested towards understanding the project, understanding the customers, what customer want or what user want. As a user example, you are the user, you what kind of feature you will be more interested towards, and you understand the market, you create the decision, and you communicate to the developer, and the developer team builds it. So it's like managing the projects. So this is the thing. There is other web developers, it's part of a development software developer, but it's specific towards web only. So where the software developer can have anything, right? Embedded system you can do, or OS related you do, or gaming you do. So it's like development, developing anything. Web developer is more into like developing related to the web only. There are a lot of frameworks are out there, probably you guys are aware about it. JavaScript frameworks, HTML, CSS, and all those things, Bootstrap. And then on backend side, there are a lot of other frameworks like Python. um, Python is a language, but there are other frameworks, Django and all, that people use in their backend and front end development. As well as, I won't go in much detail, probably it might be irrelevant to you guys, but there are a lot of interesting roles as a web developer if you want to be part of it. And then again, it's a database administrator. It's similar to what you guys are learning in SQL. Is uh, it's more like, but at larger scale. There are a lot of databases. You want to um, make sense out of that data, querying those data, uh, updating your databases, and making sure on large scale, if you have multiple databases or sharding or multiple uh, data, one data is split across multiple regions or multiple networks, then how will you make sure? And then this is all about database administrator. So this is the kind of opportunities, but there are a lot of opportunities that uh, is out there in IT industries. You just have to understand where you're good at, and then probably follow that path. That might make sense. Then I'll go to the I'm more towards the development, right? So I'll try to cover that part. So it's like the software engineering. So as I mentioned, it's the development, it's about developing. So what I do, or what we generally do, isn't, we are engineer, not a developer. So the basic difference between developer and engineer is, developer generally work on code base. The engineer uh, does a lot of things beside the code. It's a part of the coding is a part of that engineering. But like example, I want to do something related to the Windows 11, right? So what we do is, in we understand, we talk to the project manager, we understand the requirement, we understand the product, then we architect those, we create design document out of it. And then we creating, after designing document, we generally try to code that. So after design document, there are a lot of reviews from a lot of senior folks, then we get reviewed. Then after that, everyone agrees on one architecture, then we try to implement those, including high level, low level architecture. Then we test that. Testing is also part of it. Then we validate. Then if there is a bug after we ship it, we also fix that. So it's, everything is about engineering. So development is a part of it, but it's more into like engineering everything. And so there are like kind of three industries are out there. There are I'm just categorizing. So it's more like, one is service based, one is like startup, and the other one is in man, or we can call it a product based. But these are the creamy layer of product base, I would say. So In service based companies, generally, I'll try to give it in simple example what is service. Like like my hair are growing, I go to the barber is giving to service to me, right? Or if so this is similar to if anyone have requirement, they need kind of some expert people, and they go to the expert people, they ask for service, they deliver that to the whatever the needy people are, whatever they are interested in, and then after that they'll charge for it. So this is the service base. There are a lot of service base in India. uh, so what service base is looking for is expertise in particular domain. Like example, they are looking for specific to Java expert, right? Or they might be looking for you might be good at particular frameworks or particular languages. So this is generally pattern at their end, and whenever they conduct any interview, they generally try to look at the domain expertise what they are looking for, because they don't have time to teach you and everything, right? They'll just get an expert, get it done, and then they deliver because they have a tight deadline. So this is generally service based guys are looking for. The another one is startup. So startup is more into building products. So it's into like what you will do is, as I mentioned, like you can deliver a good product in a week or something, and that's what the advantage of startup has. So startup is like, sorry, startup is like more into delivering so fast that the service based or even the good product based cannot match it. And that's what the startup comes in picture. They had some specific need, and then they go and solve the problem really quickly, and they create the fortune out of it. So in that startup, what they're looking for is fast problem solver. So even if you are not good at Java, like when I switch from persistent to the startup, I know, like I have a zero knowledge about Ruby on Rails or Python or any framework or any tool they use, zero language. But I was good at solving problems, so they hired me directly. And then I learn over there what are the framework they are using, languages they are using, and then I deliver, or everyone deliver that really fast. And this is where startups come in picture. So in the startup interview, they generally ask how fast you can deliver anything, right? So it's more into, the service is more into domain, the startup is more into agility. It's like how fast you can build something and how interactive, how good you are. On the other hand, there's a mang. So it's, I am not sure you guys know that or not. It's more into every company's shortcut. So M stand for Meta or Microsoft, then A stand for Apple, Amazon, then there is the N stand for Netflix, and G stand for Google, right? So in that, I might have accidentally added one more A. Anyways, it's more into MAANG. So it's more into the creamy part of product base. So I'll just try to cover the product base. What product base are looking for is really good problem solver. So how efficiently you can solve the problem. It's again not about the technology you previously used. It's not again about framework you used. It's not about uh, the kind of domain you worked on. It's into like what experience you have, what the complex problem you have solved, and are you able to solve any complex problem given to you. So it's like example, I would say in any interview pattern, I'm not sure, you might have heard like what are the Microsoft or other companies take the interview, Google, how they take interview. But generally, what they have is they ask you for DS algo questions, right? So they'll give you any random question for DS algo, and it's like it doesn't matter which language you're choosing. Like I can solve in probably Java, you guys can solve it in Python, or any other guys solve it in any other language like Ruby. So language doesn't matter. It's about can you solve that problem first, and then can you solve that problem efficiently. So that's what everyone is looking for in the these big companies. And then we try to look for like, can in going in case you are going for the senior level, then we try to go for, can you architect like this application, like we can ask design chess game and everything, and then we discuss at that time, we solve there. But anyways, that's for senior. For general purpose, it's more into like solving, we uh, generally go for DS algo, and the complex, any problem, and can you solve that problem, and using any good data structure, can you efficiently optimize that. So that's what we look for, and that's what generally most of the product based companies are looking for. So I would say more like you should be good at languages, you should know the language, but concentrate more on DS algo. That is gonna help you for lifetime. Like you knowing the data structures, knowing the algorithms, knowing the design patterns, those will be really helpful for you guys when you, if you want to conquer these good companies. Anyways, so going forward, I'll just try to cover some myths about industry, all about engineering that I had, and probably you guys might also having that. Uh, and then I might clarify that. I hope so. So first one is only English can lead you for better opportunity. Uh, Generally, people, like, if you can see, I'm not that good in English. Probably, I would say, and it's not like I mean, it's not like you should know the language. It's about knowing is plus point, but I would say knowledge matters. Like, let me just put it in other words. What you can say is English is just a language. So, example, if I want to communicate you with you guys something, right? If I can speak Marathi and you understand Marathi, it doesn't matter. My I as a sender and you as a receiver, if I am delivering any message to you guys and you are able to understand that message, what matters is not the medium the most. What matters is the message what I want to deliver, and that's what the knowledge comes in picture. So I would say more like emphasize on knowledge, English, or understand or know the English, but it's not. It is not gonna block you anywhere. That if you don't know any um, like if you can't speak at all, it's totally okay. Be nice with yourself, and then try to convey with the way you can. But the content you're delivering or knowledge you have, it automatically highlight. And if you have a good knowledge, people will recognize that and they'll hire you or they'll give you good problems. So that's one myth I encounter in my life. Another one is like tier one or two student are too smart. So this applies to, I'm not sure you guys are know that concept or not, tier one and tier two. It's about a college as well as a cities. So what I mean by tier one or tier two is like tier one's like example metro cities, tier two cities are even close to metro cities, or tier, if you go for college, then tier one is like IITs, and tier two are like NITs. So I'm working with a lot of those folks, and probably I'm mentoring them, I'm onboarding them, and then I'm leading them as in as a lead to a lot of IIT folks, IIT Delhi's and other folks. So anyways, everyone think that they're too smart, and they are good. I'm not saying that they're not good, but the only thing is like not everyone is as smart as we think. So don't be harsh on yourself. If you might be better than they are, but the only, as we come from a bit rural area, we might not got good opportunity. But we, if you can focus on yourself, and then you can understand your strong point, you might be better than they are. Third one is people. I might piss off some teachers, but I'm just saying. Generally, what everyone focus on, marks matter. I would say knowledge matters. Try to understand everything uh, with the curiosity, like why something is happening, or why, like example in OS, how OS works, or if you want to understand the network, uh, what how networking works, what are the topologies and everything, right? So if you understand the knowledge, it stays with you. And on other hand, if you focus on knowledge, you can really write good or represent those uh, in in your exam or in like in your MCQs, and automatically marks will follow. So don't chase marks, chase knowledge. Automatically marks will follow, knowledge will stay with you forever. So better to chase knowledge. Marks matters, but it doesn't. If you are good, then automatically you will fall, you will get eventually what you're looking for. Then another one is like only sharp-minded people can work in good company. So generally it's like uh, the people are working in Google or people are working in Microsoft or other good companies, they're too sharp and too good. It's not the always case, but I would say the one common thing I observed among all of the developer or all of the people I worked in really good companies is they're dedicated. If I assign work to them, or if someone assign work to me, I'll make sure that that will get completed with highest quality and the decided time frame. So that's a dedication. Like for you guys, that dedication might be understanding the things, or if some projects are given to you, or some like if you're working on mini projects or something, you put your dedication over there, you understand what exactly matters, and you will complete that in with the quality. And that will probably people might not recognize it, and you might feel that it is, why am I doing that? I can just go and Google and then copy paste, even if I'll get the same mark. But having a small habit will lead you really good in life. So even if that is not giving you benefit right now, trust the process. It will give you benefits in really good in long run. So I would say be dedicated what you're doing, and then know what the process you're following, and trust on yourself. You'll be good somewhere in life. Then next one is an experience is equal to salary. People generally say like higher experience is equal to higher salary. It's not the case. It's more into like the work is equal to salary, or the complex problem is equal to salary. So it's not related to how much experience you are. It's about how complex problem you can solve in any domain, not related to the development. So that reflect your salary. Then sorry, uh syllabus doesn't matter. Everyone thinks that like I'll go for fancy AIML courses or any other courses I learn and from outside, and then why am I studying this? Oh, it's not useful. It is not the case. Whatever you are learning, it does matter. It create a base for you, and you will know that in really long run. So if you know something right now, or if you're understanding some example, you're learning Python, or if you're learning Java right now, you might see that it's not required. Or even if you search something learning unrelated topics like discrete mathematics or not, I don't know sure you have that or not, but I'm just giving an example. So if you're learning that, you think that I don't want that, it's not the case. Everything is properly planned and designed by some experts. So trust the procedure. Syllabus does matter, and just focus on knowledge and getting good out of whatever the syllabus is given to you. Then again is money can stop you for higher education. Generally that's what people think, that if you are good or if you are rich enough, then only you can get good study, or you can go to abroad and for studies and all. That's not the case. For me, I stayed 2 years in that government hostel to save money, because probably I don't have money to pay for my that the rooms and all, right. So that I cannot afford that. So I have to say that in government hotel hostel, and cause saving money. But eventually it will not stop you from what you are looking for. So money does matter, but it will not stop in case you have a good vision and if you want to achieve something. So yeah, have a good vision. Everything will comes in right place, and you will succeed. Then going abroad will give you good money. It's not the case. I mean, previously it was the case, but right now it's flipped. So you know, in Microsoft, our starting package, it's starting is close to 16 to 20 lakhs, and uh, people with some experience, or I would say some good experience, they might touch to CR or more than CR. So a year. So it's not about like if you have to only go to the US or other countries, then you'll get a good package. Not the case. Even in India, if you're good, and then you can get a good money. So there are some myths I observed. Then a last one, I want to deliver one message that you must follow someone to be good. Like example, in we think that like example, what work for me is like meditation work for me, or comparing myself only work for me. Probably that might not work for you. You might be competitive, and you want to, if you want to good, like you have to compete with a lot of folks, and then you want to be good, or achieve something, and that's what you are. So I would say know everyone, understand everyone, what patterns people follow, but know yourself first, what works for you, what you are good at, and follow yourself, follow your strength, and work on your weaknesses. And then if you became yourself, like you worked on yourself, like read books, or uh, work on your skills, probably problem solving skills, like Sir used to say that you have to play chess to be good at coding. So similarly, you work on your problem solving, understand, like example, in chess you try to strategize a lot of things, you will become good at strategies. Or you, if you're solving a lot of puzzles, you will be good at problem solving. So it's not related to the coding. If you want to work on yourself, understand what you're good at, focus on that, understand what you're bad at, focus on that too, and then understand what patterns or what things work for you, uh, and follow yourself. And just know that these are the good steps that others follow and that work for them, so you can also follow them, but not necessarily that will work for you. Follow yourself, I would say. So any questions? I hope I covered a lot of things. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Anyways, if you want to connect with me, this is my LinkedIn. You can see my profile, or if you have question, and you, generally I used to have that, like I get a fear of asking question with everyone, because I used to see that, I used to think that people might judge what kind of stupid question I'm asking. So for that, if you want to connect, or if you have any doubts, you can connect me on the Instagram, and ask me the queries whatever you have, and I'll try to answer them in my time. Hello? I'm not able to hear you properly. Can you repeat? Programming and what? Languages. Oh, okay. So generally, we worked on every languages. Right now, I worked on React.js. It's a JavaScript framework, you might know. And previously, we used to work on Angular, but right now React.js. Then the C#.net. Then we use all kind of. We use Android. Kotlin. We use the iOS. We also use Python, but really small percentage. But it's more into like we use a lot of Microsoft stuff like C#.net, um, and related to the Microsoft languages, like C++ for our Windows development. The gaming, for gaming as well, we use C++. So this is what we use, and this is a customized C++. This is a Microsoft developed C++, but I would say it's close to what we have, as in what we learn as a C++ in our curriculum. Any other question? Yeah. Uh, Obviously, that will be the case. So, like, market is changing really fast, So, what people generally see that as in whatever we are learning might get outdated when I'll be working at that time, right? And that's a valid question. Uh, I would say more like if you understand the core now, if you understand, like, there's a concept called programming paradigms. So, what it is like, it's not about what are the different languages you learn. It's about the pattern about those languages. Like, there are three four patterns. Like, I would say more like one is object oriented languages, one is procedural languages, one is functional programming, and other is something I forgot the fourth one, but generally let's just say three, right? So if you understand one object oriented language, and if someone introduce another object oriented language, and if you know the core or if you know the base, you won't take that much time to understand the another object oriented. Or if you understand the functional programming, or if you understand the procedural language, like example, you know the C, right? Or you know the close to C++. So there is a Google introduced the Golang, and that is a close to what C and C++ does. So if you are good at these languages, you'll automatically able to understand those. Like, you go routine have a, sorry, go language have the struct that we use in C, or it does have like naming convention that we use in C++ or Java. So I would say more like understand different patterns or different concept. Those will be a similar concept will be there in new framework or new languages or new technologies. So if your core is strong, understanding new things won't be that challenging. So focus on your curriculum, understand or grasp the concept, and that will help you eventually if you want to learn new thing in going forward. Project. Okay. I mentioned, right? So I'm working on Windows right now. So two things actually: Windows and architecting, like machines and all. Like, we are creating servers for our new projects. So I'm just trying to understand what are the regions, or India level specific regions or US level specific regions. We add servers over there. So that's another, like, close to the architecting the machines, but that's a different story. But right now I'm working on as in Windows. So if you go to the your Windows, right, and you go to settings, uh, there is a lot of option on left side. I can probably show that to you. Just a second. Can you see my settings now? Okay, so this is like my Windows 11 laptop, and this is a setting, right? So this is a different sections over here. As you can see, systems, Bluetooth and devices, network, and internet, right? So there is something called accounts. So when I'll go here, right now this is not released yet, but when you can, if you want, I can just show. Give me 2 minutes. I'll show my work. So anyways, that's more into like in accounts, whatever the subscription I own, in that subscription, I can able to see the subscription cards. Just quickly, I'll show. I hope so. And that will be ready with me. So I'm just trying to show because you can understand the amount of impact you will have, because the Windows is with billions of devices, right? Like, billions of users are using it. It's not about I deliver something and then uh, it's no one is using it. It's like your small change are used by a lot of billions of users. So you work with that cautiously, and that kind of impact you can create. So it just Yeah, so this is my setting. Okay, when I go to accounts, you can see this, right? So in going forward in your windows as well, you will be able to see this is the subscription I have right now. So I can see my subscription details and everything. So in actual windows, in next release, you can able to see this kind of subscription card. So you can say that I know the person who worked on this. Yeah. Linux. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm. Windows is more into, I would say, enterprise. Windows is more into end user specific, and Linux is more into servers. So Linux is, I mean, it's open source, and we can go ahead and contribute over there. Android is a good example of Linux-based system, but we generally use it with on the server more. Like I used to work in AWS, and then there we have a Linux system over there. Windows is more towards easy to use. Anyone can use it, and at the same time, we are Windows is working towards developer friendly. Like Windows are not earlier developer that much developer friendly versus the Linux, but right now we are trying really hard to become combination of what Linux offer, as well as what we are known for, like easy to use and everyone can able to use it. Or even uh, our next servers, Windows are, we're targeting more towards giving flexibility to the users. So comparing both, it's more into Linux is close to developer friendly, or it's more into the servers where it's more secure, everything needs permission, versus Windows market is more towards end users. How can I give easy to use machine? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sir. सॉरी, मला थोडा कमी आवाज येतोय. मराठीत मला चांगलं वाटतं बोलायला. मी मराठीतच बोलणार होतो, पण असू दे म्हणलो. आय लोकांशी लोकांना प्रॉपरली जास्त कनेक्ट करू शकेल मराठीमध्ये. याह! आणि ॲक्चुअली हा खूप लोकांना येतो. म्हणजे मी सांगितलं ना, मी ज्यावेळी पुण्यामध्ये गेलेलो ना, माझ्यासाठी तर खूप जास्त झालेलं. मला जवळपास 6 महिने ते 1 वर्ष असं झालेलं की खूप जास्त हुशार आहेत लोकं आपल्यापेक्षा, असं वाटतं. आय मीन अ, ज्यावेळी आपण जातो ना गावामधून वगैरे, मी मराठी मीडियममध्ये शिकलेलो आहे. सो मग तिकडे गेल्यानंतर असं वाटायला लागतं, की खूप जास्त हुशार लोकं आहेत आणि त्यांना खूप जास्त येतं. पण नंतर ओव्हर द टाईम आय रिअलाइज्ड English is just a communication way of communicating anything. It's more into like what you communicate. So if you focus on knowledge, automatically, if you're good at something or if you're good at what kind of stuff you know, ऑटोमॅटिकली कंटेंट डिलिव्हर होऊन जातात. म्हणजे होतं ऑटोमॅटिकली थोडं स्ट्रगल होतात. यू डिलिव्हर दॅट कंटेंट आणि मग त्याच्यामुळं लोकांना समजून जातं, की ही इज गुड. त्याला थोडं कम्युनिकेट करता येत नाही, पण त्याला माहिती आहेत गोष्टी. चालेल. येऊन जाईल मी. याह! थँक यू. ऑल द बेस्ट एव्हरीवन.